All right. I can sense the excitement, like, from the group. The Premier League is finally here. It's finally here. So everybody's sports fans, the punters, everybody's just so excited right now. Like, finally, we've got some real football available, and this time it'll be thick and faster than before because it started late. So what I'm doing here, I want to give a short preview of what I think or what I want to expect from this year's Premier League season. What I feel I should expect, or what we should expect as football fans, Premier League fans. So with the start of every new season, the first thing that you have to talk about is the summer transfer window. Who's had the best of the transfer window? Like, who's got their targets? What do you expect from those targets? When I think of this year's transfer window, obviously there's been a lot of activity coming from Chelsea, from Leeds United, from Fulham. Those teams have had a lot of activity. But I'll go into detail. So today, news that emerged is that Jose Mourinho has come out and said that Spurs are failing to get their transfer targets because they're afraid of Harry Kane. Of course, this week what's been trending on social media is that Patson Jack has been heavily linked to Spurs. So that would be a good move for Patson, I think. Personally, I feel like that would be a good move. But again, his agent has come out and said that Patson may stay at Salisbury for another year to allow him to develop. So that's something else also. And of course, you've got the Harry Kane factor there. Is he going to bench Harry Kane? I don't think so. Most likely, he'll be a backup option if he does sign for Spurs. So Jose Mourinho came out with that statement today, saying that players are afraid to go to Spurs because they're afraid of Harry Kane, who's been one of the best strikers in the world the past 6 years or something now. Yeah. So going to the transfer window. The first team that I want to look at is Arsenal, because a few weeks into the window, they seem to be doing their business right. They were getting their targets. They were signing their players. You've got Cedric Soares, who's come on from Spurs. You've got Willian, who's come on from Chelsea. He adds a lot of experience to the front line. And he came in for free. Then you've got Gabriel. Arsenal's defense has been a major talking point the past few years. So I think that's what Arteta has been trying to address, to get the defensive line. Okay, when you can't concede, you can't lose. That's just a fact. So you build from the back. You build a team from the back. You get your defenders in. It's a stable team. And then you work on scoring goals. And they don't have a problem scoring goals. Arsenal have never had a problem scoring goals since I started watching them. They are always good going forward, but their defense has let them down. You always feel like they'll concede, but finally they seem to have got their target. Gabriel has come in. He's a very, very good player, quality signing. Then you've got Dani Ceballos has finally made his transfer to Arsenal. Another loan under new terms, of course, which is a very good transfer. So he comes with that creativity. He's also a guy who can, press from the front and whatnot. He's a very good signing. Yeah. The next team I'd like to talk about is another London team, Chelsea. Chelsea have just gone full throttle in this transfer window. They're signing players left, right, and center. They've signed like 7 players already, almost building a full squad. They've got Timo Werner there in attack. They've got Kaya Havertz in the attacking midfield position. They've got Hakim Ziyech probably for the right wing or for the left wing. I'm not so sure. Okay, they've got Pulisic is still there, so I'm not so sure. But he does fit somewhere into that creative role. He can play a lot of positions from central midfield to the right wing, left wing, even attacking midfield. So they've got that man. And of course they've signed Sarr on a free transfer. So that guy comes in to maybe bolster the backline, but people are speculating that it's not this season. He may probably be loaned out, or he'll be a backup option. Then you've got Benchwell. Okay, last season a lot of Chelsea fans complained about Marco Alonso. He was leaving a lot of space when he goes forward, and then another team attacks on the counter and then they score. So I think with Ben Chilwell, they get almost the same type of player, but he's fully tested in a back four. Alonso was good in a back three. That's a back five actually. He was good, but when Lampard came in, switched to a back four, he looked to have struggled a bit. So they've got Ben Chilwell, younger, faster maybe, and he's good going forward. Then maybe he provides that defensive cover that they were lacking last season. And they've also gone in the market and got the experience of Thiago Silva. I've been watching this lad for I think over 12 years, 13 years. Thiago Silva has been consistently at the top. So that's another very good signing. I remember him from his Milan days. Very top player. He comes in with that experience, that leadership quality. Of course, he was captain for PSG. So he comes in and that's something we can look forward to. But of course, you've got Everton. Everton have gone in the market and signed a whole new midfield. You've got Alan, who's coming from Napoli. You've got James Rodriguez, and you've got Doucouré from Watford. I love Doucouré personally. I would have loved him to come to Manchester United, but Everton and Ancelotti have gone in, they've been decisive and they've got their players. James Rodriguez, of course, that's one of the best number 10s. It's a dying position, but it's still one of the best number 10s in the business. In modern day football, you might argue that that's a dying position because teams no longer set up that way. Not so much these days. But Ancelotti is like part of the old guard, so comes in at that 4-2-3-1 maybe, or you can even play 4-3-3 then transition to 4-2-3-1 in attack. So I think that's a very interesting signing to look forward to because he comes in with creativity, and James Rodriguez can score goals. Let's not forget that he can score quality goals. On his day, he's one of the best in the world. Yeah. Then you've got a newly promoted Leeds United. They've brought in Rodrigo Moreno. They've brought in Moreno 9 years after he first tested the Premier League with Bolton. He came in on loan. I think that was in the 2011, 2012. I don't know. I'm not so sure. But he's back in the Premier League. He's back in the Premier League, and we're expecting big things from him. And you've got Manchester City. The situation in Manchester City is it's rather strange, of course. They've got their men, they've got Ake coming in. Of course, defense was a problem last season, but they just conceded 2 more than Liverpool. Yeah, only 2. 2 more than Liverpool, but they've boosted their defense. And Ake is coming. They've replaced Sané with Ferran Torres. Or at least that's what I think that signing was for, to replace Sané with Ferran Torres. And also, it's interesting to note that, this season, Aguero and Fernandinho are in the last year of their contracts. So it would be interesting to see how that will play out. Then you've got my team, Manchester United. We've got Van der Beek, quite an exciting talent. People are still debating how you fit in that midfield with Bruno Fernandes and Pogba. They're all creative players, not so much when it comes to defensive cover. But he's coming, and something worth noting is that Pogba is also heading into the last year of his contract. So it's like Solskjaer planning for the long term. Sorry, is he planning for the long term? Is he trying to sign the Pogba replacement? Or Pogba signed a new contract and there's a bigger plan there? That's something that we are yet to see. But quite interesting times throughout, and definitely this season, after spending over 40 million pounds, Solskjaer has to deliver this season. He's got no excuse. He's got his targets, and Manchester United are still in the market trying to get him more players. So this season, we feel like that's the season that he will be judged on because he has to deliver this season. So I'm talking about the promoted sides, of course, but much focus on Leeds United because I feel like they've got all the right ingredients, the right tools, the right mix of players for them to actually stay in the Premier League, comfortable stay in the Premier League. If it goes well, beyond that, they might actually push for a top 10 finish. Marcelo Bielsa is one of the best coaches around. So definitely that's something we have to look forward to as Premier League fans. You've got Belshare in the Premier League, you've got Guardiola, you've got Klopp, you've got everybody in the Premier League. So that's something that we have to look forward to as Premier League fans. So yeah, I'm backing Leeds United to definitely push for a top 10 finish. I'm gonna make a top 6 prediction. Like, could the top 6 this season be the same top 6 that we're used to? You know, you're looking at City and Liverpool probably playing for the title. Manchester United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs probably competing for the top 4 positions. And you've got Everton under Ancelotti. That's something big. That's something big. They might push for a top 4 finish or probably top 6. Who knows? Like, they want to play in Europe. Then also something that we can look forward to is how Wolves play this season. They've got the backing of George Mendes. Like, he's bringing all his top clients there. You've got Wolves. Then you've got Sheffield United played so well last season that I don't expect them to be as good this season. And Leicester City also, they kind of lost steam when the season would end after the COVID-19 break. So that's also something to look at. I don't think Leicester City will be as good this season. So, when you talk about the top 6, you talk about Mourinho's second season in charge. He does deliver in his second season. He does deliver. That's something that's always been there. Mourinho delivers in his second season. So, and no one has collected more points than Mourinho. I think it's only Guardiola and Klopp or something since he came in at Spurs. So I'm backing him for a top 4 finish. I'm backing Spurs for a top 4 finish. I'm backing Manchester City for a top 4 finish. I think the other 2 spots, you've got Liverpool, of course, they'll be there. They'll be there, probably challenging at the very top. And then we've got the last spot. We're probably looking at Chelsea or Manchester United or Arsenal. That would be something interesting to look at because we've got all the big teams in the Premier League playing for the same things right now. So it will be an interesting season. Catch me live next week for another preview. This time we'll be talking fixtures, we'll be talking more transfers, probably Jadon Sancho. I hope so too, yeah. So yeah, catch you next week. We'll keep it as short as we can. Yeah.